Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are tackling a dilemma pretty much every single homeowner faces at some point. We're looking at the true financial and practical costs of plumbing fixes. And just so you know, we're basing everything we discuss today entirely on our source material from Dr. Drain, a professional service out of Illinois. The age-old debate in home maintenance usually boils down to this one very simple question. Are you actually saving money when you try to fix a stubborn clog yourself? So picture this. It's a highly relatable scenario. You're standing in your shower, water is just kind of pooling around your ankles, and you're wondering if that cheap $5 bottle of chemical cleaner is actually a hidden financial gamble. I mean, we've literally all been there, right? It totally seems like the problem could be solved in just a few minutes with a quick trip to the store, but is that initial price tag really the bargain it claims to be? To get to the bottom of this, we're going to follow this quick roadmap. We'll start with the allure of DIY, uncover the hidden risks, explore the professional value proposition, calculate your real costs, and finally, pinpoint exactly when you need to just call a pro. Let's jump straight into Section 1, the allure of DIY. Now, what's really interesting here is how the headline price completely contrasts with reality. On the left side, we've got the visible cost, that inexpensive bottle of chemical cleaner, a basic plunger, or maybe a one-time tool rental from the hardware store. It looks incredibly cheap up front. But then you look at the right side. The indirect costs are just deeply frustrating. If that cheap bottle doesn't actually work, you're looking at lost time, incredibly messy cleanups, and honestly, perhaps the biggest headache of the whole shebang, bathroom downtime. When you're running repeated treatments and trying to troubleshoot it yourself, you suddenly can't even use your own sink or shower. That disrupts your entire daily routine, and that absolutely has a real cost. Which brings us right to Section 2, uncovering the hidden risks. So the absolutely crucial point to understand here is that not all clogs behave the same way. Caustic drain chemicals are designed to dissolve very specific materials. If you're dealing with a nasty combination of, say, hair mixed with grease, or a partial blockage much farther down the line, these chemicals often fail completely. Actually, scratch that. They don't just fail. Excessive chemical use can literally cause caustic damage and surface irritation to your actual pipes. Plus, it can create awful lingering odors in your home. And surprisingly enough, it can actually make a plumber's eventual job way harder. Sometimes these chemicals even interfere with the professional equipment or the inspections the plumber eventually has to do, which, you guessed it, only adds to your final bill. All right, moving right along to Section 3, the professional value prop. The difference in the tool sets here is just massive. On one hand, DIY tools are basically flying blind. We're talking basic plungers, manual augers, and those caustic chemicals. But on the other hand, pro diagnostics, that gives you motorized snakes, camera inspections, and high-pressure hydrojetting. It's an entirely different league. You aren't just paying for an hour of some guy's labor, you are paying for advanced diagnostic intelligence. A professional doesn't just punch a hole through the clog to clear a pipe. They use these tools, especially the video inspections, to find out exactly why it clogged in the first place. So beyond just clearing the immediate blockage, professionals identify the underlying causes. Like, are you recurring clogs driven by tree roots intruding into your pipes? Is it a failed trap, or maybe a vent issue? Or are there hidden buildup patterns deep within your plumbing? By diagnosing these true root causes, pros prevent the repeat emergencies that keep you stuck on this incredibly frustrating treadmill of buying more and more DIY chemicals. Now that we've seen both sides of the coin, let's put some real numbers to this in Section 4, calculating the real cost. Let's completely redefine how we look at our wallets here. The real cost isn't just the price tag at the hardware store. As this definition from the source material shows, it's the upfront price of materials plus the financial risk of collateral damage, plus the value of your lost time and usability. I mean, if you have to go find another bathroom in the house to use or set up a backup or just deal with the sheer annoyance of downtime and the risk of a messy overflow, that is a massive hidden cost that is definitely never showing up on a receipt. Here is a brilliant, super consumer-friendly checklist from Dr. Drain to estimate your best path forward. Let's walk through it together. Step 1, tally up your DIY material costs. Step 2, add in the cost of repeat attempts and lost usability. Basically, how much does it cost your sanity to lose your shower for 3 days? Step 3, be really honest and weigh the probability of the DIY fix actually failing. And finally, Step 4, compare that total headache against a one-and-done professional diagnosis. Honestly, the real cost is often way lower when a plumber identifies the source quickly, rather than you just clearing the immediate opening and leaving the root cause lurking there for tomorrow. Okay, rounding the corner into Section 5, when to call a pro. So here are your absolute immediate red flags. If you notice multiple drains slowing down at once or water backing up into other fixtures, that's huge. If you hear weird gurgling sounds coming from the pipes or smell persistent, unusual odors, stop what you're doing. If any of these are happening, it means the issue likely involves your venting system or a broader mainline problem. Pouring chemicals down a single drain at this point is literally just flushing your money away. Additionally, if your initial reasonable DIY effort fails, that is a clear-cut sign to just stop before you accidentally escalate the whole situation. If you remember absolutely nothing else from this explainer today, let it be this golden rule. Treat DIY as a first step and pivot to a pro when symptoms persist. Mild DIY methods like using a basic plunger or a manual auger are generally lower risk and honestly a great first step. But the very second it fails, or if those clogs just keep coming back, stop. Pivot to a professional inspection before you escalate your costs through a bunch of blind trial and error. So I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought to consider the next time you are standing there in ankle-deep water, staring at a cheap bottle of drain cleaner. Are you just clearing a simple blockage today, or are you essentially buying a massive plumbing emergency for tomorrow? Keep this framework in mind the next time your plumbing acts up, and you will be well on your way to making the smartest, most cost-effective choice for your home. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will catch you next time.